Going to be going through your Scratch coding lesson for today. So I will be showing you how to log into Scratch and then how to get through your task for your Scratch code. So you will have this document with step-by-step instructions on how to create this time reaction game, and you also have this video to refer to as well. So whatever you feel comfortable doing, you might prefer to follow along with me on the video, or you might prefer to do it independently with the task sheet. That's up to you. Right, so this is the game that you're going to be creating today. It's a time reaction game. So we need to press the space bar as soon as the astronaut says go, and it measures your reaction speed and then gives you a little message afterwards. So we're going to start with signing into Scratch, so you can Google Scratch and click the first link, so it's scratch.mit.edu. Then you need to sign in, so I'll just show you how to do that. So sign in, and remember it's your frog login, but don't put the 0.307, that shouldn't be there, and your password is computing. So at the top, we're going to click Create. So at the beginning of our project, we should give it a name. So we can call this Reaction Game. And then you can just save now, so that every time you code or change something, you can save just in case so you don't lose your work. So if we go to your task, it says that we need to set up our game. So we're going to use an astronaut sprite and we're going to make it say hello for 2 seconds. So if I go back, I'm going to delete my cat sprite by pressing the bin icon. Then going to go to the choose a sprite button. I can upload my own, just make sure it has a transparent background, or I can just choose the sprite. If it doesn't come up, you can choose something else from Scratch. I might just go to Google and I'll search astronaut clip art and go to images. If I go to tools, I can choose color and I can choose transparent background and then choose an astronaut. So once you've chosen the picture, you're going to right click and save image as, and you're going to give it a name and save. So I'm going to go back to Scratch and press back. I'm going to go to the sprite button and upload sprite. Go to my downloads and open the image. Now that's quite big, so I'm going to change the size to 50 and I can move it around the screen. I also want to set the background, so I'm going to go to choose a backdrop and search. I can search for space and choose the galaxy background. Now we need to go to events. Now remember, every code needs to start with when flag clicked, and then we're going to go to looks and say hello for 2 seconds. So we're now going to change our text to a different greeting. So I'm just going to use this. I'm going to select the text and I'm going to copy it by right-clicking on copy and go back to Scratch, double-click and Control-V on your keyboard or right-click to paste. So now if I press the flag, my astronaut should say this message. Next, it says to wait 1 second so that there's a pause between the conversations, and then say press the space key when I say go. So again, select that, right click, copy, go back to my code, I'll go to Control and wait for 1 second, and then I'm going to go to looks and say. So select it, right click and paste. So let's test it. Says the first message and then the instructions. So it's now asking us to add a random pause. So this means that every time you play the game, it's going to be a random time for the player to wait before they have to press go. Because if it's always at the same time, it's not going to be random, and eventually there'll be a pattern to pressing it, and you could get a quick reaction time. So we need to make sure that it's random. So we need the wait block and the say block. So go back to the code, control and wait. Now if we look back, it has this green command in the middle, pick random from 1 to 10. So if I go back, I go to my operators, and I'm going to use the pick random block. And if you drag it, it should slot in to the wait block just there. I'll go back to looks and then say underneath, go. Now the next step, step 5, is to reset the timer. So we want a time of this game to time how long it takes for the user or the player to react. So sensing, and then at the bottom here it says reset timer. We're going to drag that underneath there. So our next step is to wait until the space key is pressed. So we've got a wait command and then a sensing command. So I'll go to wait until block, so not wait seconds, wait until block, and then go to sensing, and we can do the key pressed. And we can change this depending on how you want your game to be, but I'm just going to go with space for now. It then says to say the reaction time and to connect this with the timer. So this timer starts automatically every time you press the green flag. So it wants us to join this text so the user knows what this number means. So if you're not sure, you can open two windows together. So you drag it and open it on the side, and then you can drag your browser and open it on the side. So I can go to say, and then I can go to operators and use the join operator. So it says join apple and banana. So I'm going to drag that where it says hello. I'm going to type your reaction time was, and make sure you put a space after, otherwise the time here will be stuck together with the was and it won't look very nice. So then I'm going to use another join command to make my window bigger. So join and drag it where it says banana, and it tells us that we want it to join the timer with the word seconds. So I'm going to go to sensing and timer, so drag it to where it says apple, and then type seconds. So let's test it. Green flag. Press the space key when I say go. Now you might notice here that there's no space between the number and the seconds, so I'll just go here and I'll add a space before seconds. Now there is a formula here that says set kilometers to timer times 7.66. So this is to calculate how far the ISS, so the International Space Station, would have travelled in that time. So I'm going to go to variables and choose the set. So this means that I need to create a new variable called kilometers. So I need to make a variable. I'll show you that again. So click on variables and then click make a variable. I'm going to call it kilometers and click OK. I am then going to drag set kilometers to the timer multiplied by 7.66. So you'll see the green operator here for multiplication. So I'm going to look for the star sign and drag it into the 0, and then look for my sensing and drag the timer into the first circle and multiply it by 7.66. So to finish our game, we want the game to tell us how far the ISS would have travelled in that time. So it has 2 join commands. It rounds the kilometres so that it's a nice looking number and adds the kilometres at the end. So going to go to operators, or first let's go to looks and then say, and then we need the join command, and then we need another join command where it says apple. So it should look like this. So join, join, apple, banana, banana, just in case you get confused. So in that time the ISS travels about, I'm going to copy paste this again. And it says we need to round the kilometers. So we'll find the round command and we'll go to our variables and drag the kilometers command into there, and then we'll put, so make sure have a space first and then kilometers. So let's press the green flag, waiting to press go. So it says in that time the ISS travels about 3 kilometers. Now you might see here the about is next to the 3, so after the about I'm going to put a space. If I go back to the activity, there are a few challenges for you to work through. If you like, you can also customize this a bit more. You can add more sprites, you can maybe add more things to say. So always make sure you always go to File and Save Now to save your work. I hope you have fun with this activity, maybe even test the reaction time of people at home, and good luck!